Hi everyone, I'm recording this early in January, so I thought I'd start by wishing you all a great 2016 and of course thanking you all for your fantastic efforts during 2015. I think we had a successful year in terms of looking after our residents and clients and also in terms of positioning our organisation for the future. And I guess my main purpose in speaking to you today is really to talk about the future and to talk about our new strategic plan. We review our plan, which essentially sets our future directions every couple of years, and 2015 was one of those review years. But the reason I wanted to talk to you was that there's a massive amount of change happening in the aged care sector and in relation to how older people want to live, which is really important as to how we position ourselves and indeed as to what services we deliver to people in the future. So this is an important review of the strategic plan. There are a couple of trends that are happening that are very significant that will change the way we all think, and it will really fundamentally change aged care into the future. The first of those that I think you would have heard about is consumer direction. And you may already know that in home care we are operating under a consumer-directed care model. In essence, this means that in the future, instead of our clients, residents taking the services that government funds and that we choose to offer, they are really going to, in a much more real way, mix and match the type of services that they want. So that means that the customer, if you like, will be much more in control of their own destiny in the future, and we will need to respond to deliver exactly what they want. So that's quite a big change in itself. But the other one that's also coming through the system is that our game here, aged care, is going to become a hell of a lot more competitive. So what's happened really is that with the aging of the population and the growth in the numbers of older people, the private sector, private companies, if you like, have realised that this is a major investment area that they would like to be part of. To some extent, aged care has been dominated by the not-for-profit sector in the past, organisations like ourselves, but in the future it's going to be much more mixed. And we're going to have major competition from private operators, and they are going to bring with them a lot of money behind them. A lot of these companies that are now moving into the eastern seaboard are multinational companies, private equity companies, listed companies on the stock exchange. So they're going to have a lot of resource base behind them, and they, in due course, they're here now, but in due course they're going to really also come across to Western Australia where we operate. So what that means in essence is that we are going to have to become much more competitive in terms of the quality of our services, our marketing to people about what we do, and our ability for customers to access a whole range of different services based on consumer direction. So this is a massive change. So when we sat down and looked at our strategic future, what we want to be in the organisation and how we will succeed, and in reviewing our strategic plan, what struck us most strongly was that we needed to be big. Now the reason that in the future you need to be big is that you need to have a lot of infrastructure. You need to have a lot of capability within the organisation to withstand this competition. So you must really understand your pricing, you have to really understand your costs, you really have to focus on quality, and you really have to focus on customer service. There's no doubt in my mind that small organisations are going to struggle in the future under the competition from massive organisations such as Bupa. Bupa offer basically health insurance, but they're very strongly in the aged care sector. I saw an ad on TV the other day from Bupa that mentioned their aged care offering. Imagine how big they are and how much they will be able to spend on things like television marketing, television advertising. They'll be telling people how great Bupa services are. We obviously will never be able to match that, but we have to be able to shape up in other ways in terms of our quality, our local character and our values. So the strategic plan, really what I'm saying to you is the strategic plan this time has been very important. And recognising the fact that we are going to have some bulk and scale to compete with these guys, we've called our strategic plan Growing for the Future. So We are shortly distributing copies of this plan to you all, and we'll put them up on notice boards in each of our facilities so that you can become familiar with it. But in essence, what we're saying is that we intend to grow significantly across all of our service areas. So across home care, across residential care, transition care, and of course in our housing areas. Now, it's not just about being big. That doesn't cut it. We also have to be really good. And so we've got some key strategy areas, as you'll see, that lie in terms of customer service, sustainability, our governance systems, in other words, how we run the organisation, and innovation. Now, I'll just say something about that. Obviously, in the world where customers direct what they want to receive, one has to be able to adapt, and even more than that, really innovate, get ahead of what we think people will want into the future. So again, we're going to have to get better at that and really put a focus on our innovation and creativity. So look, it's a big changing world out there, which is great. This is going to be really exciting. I think most of the changes are going to be good for older people. That's why we exist after all. I think giving older people more choice about what they want, more flexibility so that they don't feel like it's either just residential care, just home care, just a retirement village, but the opportunity to mix and match all of those things will be, at least in theory, very good for customers. Within all of this, we need to be, somewhat concerned, I think, about some of the private operators coming into the aged care sector. Our values become really important. So we stand for something different as being something connected to the Anglican Church, and we are a not-for-profit organisation. So our prime purpose, everything we do is really about the well-being of older people. So we've taken the opportunity in reviewing the strategic plan to look at this side, folks. We've looked at what our values are. We haven't changed that much because they're pretty constant things, but we've updated the language so that it's easier to understand. We've included our 3 R's, very importantly, our culture, the right people doing the right things in the right way. And we've clearly put in here our brand, which is living the second half of life, as I'm sure you know. And really what that says, it says it all, doesn't it? That in the end, that's why we're here. We're here to help older Western Australians live an active, meaningful second half of life, and to get the most from every age and stage as they move through that journey of being an older person. So look, thanks very much for taking the time to listen. We've got an exciting future. Our leadership, board, our management have been doing what we're here for, which is to think about the future, to plan for our future success. It's always a team game. It's not about me, it's not about any particular individual. It's about all of us working together to achieve success for Amana Living. So far, it's been a great partnership, and we all really look forward to working together in the future on the strategic plan, growing for the future. I look forward to seeing you all around and about the place in the next few months.